Hello, my name is Shirley Billy, and I am married to John Billy. On June the 7th, 1956, I gave birth to our first child at Johns Hopkins Hospital. What I thought was going to be the best day of my life, it started out that way anyway, ended up being one of the most terrible. The next day, I was told that my child was removed from the hospital and put in St. Elizabeth's orphanage without my knowledge, without my consent. And I didn't know who I could turn to. I mean, what could I do? The hospital okayed it. They let them take my child. So I was told that there was a 275-year-old law in the state of Maryland that any white woman that allowed herself to be impregnated by a Negro had committed a crime, punishable by 5 years in jail. Now I'm ready to go crazy. I mean, I didn't even know who to think about, myself or my child, or what could I do? Where could I go? So when I left the hospital, I was told that a grand jury in Baltimore City had indicted me. My crime was big enough to go to jail for. So I just waited. There was nothing I could do. I waited, and finally, the police came to my house with a warrant for my arrest and arrested me and took me to the Pine Street Women's Jail, where I stayed until I got bail money, which was only $1,000, but in 1956, that was a fortune. And my mother had to put her house up for collateral. So I went home to my mother's house and just waited. But first I had to find a lawyer, which I did. And when we went to trial, the ACLU did come to my defense. I had never even heard of them. And they sat in at the trial as friends of the court in my behalf. And eventually, the case was dismissed and the law was taken off of the so-called books because it was unconstitutional. It only applied to one person. So I set out to work on getting my child back. And I was told that I would have to have a job to show I could support him, I should be married, and have a place to live. I got jobs. It really wasn't hard to get a job, in those days anyway, and I got good jobs. But I kept getting fired from them because of the notoriety of the trial. But eventually, it worked out. John was put into the Army, though, and I had to wait for him to come in home from on leave to go to D.C. We finally found out that you could get married in D.C., mixed couples. And we had to go over there one time to apply for the license, and then you had to wait so many days and go back, which we did. We got married, we had a place to live, and I did get my son back. He was almost 2 years old.